Why it sucks to be an Arsenal fan. Being an Arsenal fan is like dating someone who promises they've changed every year. New attitude, new goals, new ambition, only to cheat on you with the same bad habits. And the worst part? You keep going back, thinking, maybe this time will be different. Spoiler alert, it never is. I still remember the 2021-22 season. Arsenal had one job, secure a top 4 finish and return to the Champions League. Everything was going well. The vibes were good. Then May happened. We lost to Tottenham. Fine, bounce back, no big deal. Then we lost to Newcastle. Okay, maybe a slightly big deal. Then Tottenham overtook us, and we finished outside the top 4. Again, pain. And yet, here I am, still wearing the jersey, still believing, still suffering. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know this pain. You live this pain. So tell me, what's the worst Arsenal heartbreak you've ever experienced? Drop it in the comments because misery loves company. Oh, and while you're here, hit that like button. If Arsenal has made you suffer, the least you can do is make this video happy. Being an Arsenal fan is like watching a horror movie where you already know the ending but still scream when the villain jumps out. The cycle is always the same. We start the season full of hope, play some beautiful football, string together a few wins, and suddenly, we're dreaming. Maybe this is the year. Maybe we finally got it right. And then, bam! Reality hits. A 3-0 loss to a mid-table team. An injury crisis that feels like it was written by Shakespeare. A red card at the worst possible moment. It is like clockwork. The art of losing in the most hilarious ways. No club loses quite like Arsenal. Sure, other teams lose, but Arsenal? We do it with style. When we lose, we don't just lose. We create iconic memes, Twitter meltdowns, and therapy sessions disguised as fan rants. Remember that time we were leading 4-0 against Newcastle in 2011 and somehow did not win? A comfortable lead turned into a chaotic disaster in the second half, ending in a 4-4 draw. It was football's version of a tragic comedy. One moment we're celebrating, the next we're staring at the screen, wondering if life even has meaning. Or how about that time Bayern Munich used us as a training drill twice? Not once, but twice. They beat us 5-1 in the Champions League. I am pretty sure even Bayern's players felt bad at some point. And let's not forget our legendary ability to bottle title races. The 2022-23 season was the perfect example. We were top of the league for 248 days. Do you know how hard it is to be first that long and still not win? That is like leading a marathon for 41 kilometers and then tripping on a banana peel right before the finish line. The "this is our year" delusion. Every Arsenal fan is guilty of this. Every single one. It starts in August when the season kicks off. Arsenal wins the first few games, and suddenly, we are tactical geniuses. Arteta is a mastermind. The new signings are world-class and the team looks unstoppable. Arsenal Twitter is unbearable. People are making title prediction threads, comparing us to prime Barcelona, and talking about the process. Then, by November, cracks begin to show. A couple of injuries. A questionable red card. A bad loss against a newly promoted team. But we keep the faith. By January, it is clear we are in trouble, but we convince ourselves we just need a good run of form. Then February arrives, and boom, our season collapses faster than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Yet somehow, when May comes around, we start saying, next season though. It is our year. Arsenal fans are like gamblers at a casino who just lost their life savings but still believe the next spin will hit the jackpot. The unexpected twists that hurt. Even more. And just when you think Arsenal cannot hurt you any worse, they find a way to make it extra painful. We are losing 2-0? Do not worry, we will make an epic comeback to 2-2 just to concede a 93rd minute winner. We sign a promising player? Give it a few months. He will either get injured or forget how to play football. We have a must-win game to secure top 4? We will turn into Sunday League footballers overnight. Supporting Arsenal is not just about loving football. It is about emotional endurance. If you can survive this club, you can survive anything. Oh, and if you are laughing right now, hit that like button. And if you are crying, just do it out of sympathy. Being an Arsenal fan is not just supporting a football club. It is a full-time job with no salary, no benefits, and definitely no mental health coverage. This club has single-handedly ruined more weekends, relationships, and life plans than bad government policies. Imagine waking up on a Saturday morning full of hope. You dress up in your fresh Arsenal jersey, plan your whole day around the match, maybe even invite some friends over. 90 minutes later, you are sitting in the dark, questioning every decision you have ever made in life. The food you ordered does not taste the same. Your phone is on airplane mode because rival fans are already typing, "Are you okay, bro?" in the group chat. Weekend? Ruined. Arsenal fans age like presidents. You know how they say football keeps you young? Not if you support Arsenal. Arsenal fans are the only people who can be 25 but look 45. Every match shaves off at least 6 months of your life expectancy. By the time you are 30, you have the blood pressure of someone collecting pension. Other clubs give their fans joy, trophies, celebrations, parades. Arsenal gives us heart palpitations and gray hairs. Do you know how stressful it is to watch your team pass the ball around the box 57 times without taking a shot on target? Sometimes I see Arsenal fans with full beards and deep wrinkles, and I think they are in their late 40s, only to find out they are 19 and just watched the whole 2022-23 season. Relationships are not safe. Either being in a relationship while supporting Arsenal is basically asking for a breakup. How do you explain to your partner why you are angry for 2 days straight because Granit Xhaka got a red card in the 37th minute? Imagine your girlfriend wants to go on a date on Saturday afternoon, but Arsenal is playing. You promise her, "Babe, I will take you out right after the game." 90 minutes later, Arsenal has lost 3-1 to Burnley at home. Now you are at the restaurant staring at your food like someone just announced a fuel price increase. Your girlfriend is talking about wedding plans, and you are busy analyzing how Arsenal's midfield collapsed in the second half. Breakup loading. Watching rivals succeed is the worst pain. Do you know what makes supporting Arsenal even worse? Watching clubs like Manchester City and Liverpool win trophies while we are busy fighting for 4th place like it is the World Cup. Arsenal fans have not seen their team win the league since 2004. Some of you were not even born the last time Arsenal lifted the Premier League trophy. Meanwhile, Manchester City fans have seen 5 league titles in the last 6 years, and most of them did not even know what football was before 2010. Chelsea wins the Champions League. Manchester City wins the Premier League every year. Even Tottenham made it to a Champions League final. Arsenal? We are still out here celebrating 4th place like we just discovered oil in the backyard. Mental Health FC. If you have never Googled how to stop supporting your football club, at least once, you are not a real Arsenal fan. This club will have you contemplating retirement from football every single season. 1 minute, you are hyping Bukayo Saka as the next Lionel Messi. The next minute, you are convincing yourself that finishing 6th is not that bad if you focus on the positives. Every season starts with trust the process. By December, it is give him time. By February, it is maybe next year. By May, it is we go again. What is your Arsenal trauma? At this point, supporting Arsenal is not even about football anymore. It is about survival. So tell me, what is the one Arsenal moment that made you sit in silence for 2 hours, staring at the wall like you were in a Netflix documentary? Drop your trauma in the comments so we can all suffer together. Oh, and while you are here, go ahead and hit that like button. Because if Arsenal has ruined your mental health, the least you can do is help this video go viral. The false hope. When we actually start believing every Arsenal fan knows this feeling. The season starts, and suddenly, we are playing like prime Barcelona. The football is beautiful. The passes are crisp. We are pressing like maniacs. Pundits start talking about a new Arsenal, and just like that, we fall for it. Again, August. This is our year. The Premier League season kicks off, and Arsenal looks like an unstoppable force. We go unbeaten for the first few games, maybe even crush a mid-table team 5-0. The fans are hyped. The players are smiling. The trust the process believers are out in full force, reminding everyone that this is the season we finally win the league. You open Twitter, and Arsenal fans are dropping 3D formations and tactical breakdowns like they work for Pep Guardiola. The energy is through the roof. The Emirates Stadium is rocking. The "we're winning the league" chants are getting louder. And we actually believe it. The first big test, and the warning signs. Then, the first big game arrives. Manchester City, Liverpool, maybe Chelsea. A real test to see if Arsenal is serious this season. The game starts well. We hold our own, maybe even take the lead. The confidence is growing. Fans are already tweeting, "Arteta ball greater than Pep ball." And then, out of nowhere, it begins. A sloppy mistake in midfield. A silly foul near the box. A defensive collapse that leads to a goal. Suddenly, it is 2-1 to the opposition, then 3-1. By the final whistle, Arsenal fans are sitting in silence, staring at the screen like they just got scammed by a Ponzi scheme. But it is just one game, right? We still believe. By December, maybe this is different. As Christmas approaches, Arsenal is still in the top 2. The football is flowing, and even the biggest skeptics are starting to believe. You start saying things like, "You know what? Maybe this year is different. We finally have the squad depth. This team has matured. We're ready." Even rival fans are getting nervous. Arsenal actually looks serious this season. This is the moment where Arsenal fans start dreaming. The group chats are filled with fixture breakdowns, title race predictions, and even whispers of a Champions League push. This is peak false hope. January. The collapse begins. But then January arrives. It starts with something small. A narrow loss to a mid-table team. Maybe a frustrating 1-1 draw against Burnley where we had 78% possession but only 2 shots on target. Then the injuries hit. Key players start dropping like flies. Suddenly, our midfield is held together by an 18-year-old academy graduate and a player we signed on loan from a second division club. The squad looks exhausted. The wins turn into draws. The draws turn into defeats. Before we know it, we have lost 3 games in a row, and Manchester City is already 10 points clear. Reality sets in. The "this is our year" tweets slowly start disappearing. The rival fans return, reminding us that we really thought things would be different this time. And deep down, we knew. We always knew. February. Coping mechanism. Activated. At this stage, Arsenal fans enter denial mode. We start coping. It's not over yet. Mathematically, we can still win the league if City lose their next 6 games. Look, we're still in the FA Cup, but we all know the truth. By March, the dream is officially dead. We are now in a battle for 4th place, again. The annual excuse cycle. By the end of the season, Arsenal fans have officially entered the 5 stages of grief. 1. Denial. We still have a chance. 2nd, anger. How did we bottle this again? 3rd, bargaining. If we just sign 2 more players, next season will be different. 4th, depression. I need a break from football. 5. Acceptance. We go again next year. And just like that, the cycle resets. Speaking of bad decisions, don't make one. At this point, if you have made it this far, you are already part of the suffering. So do yourself a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Because if we are going to be heartbroken Arsenal fans, we might as well suffer together. The worst of the worst. The peak of misery. Arsenal fans have suffered. Not regular suffering, the kind of pain that should be studied in psychology textbooks. We are talking about moments so brutal, they make you reconsider your entire existence as a football fan. If you have been supporting this club long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, let us take a trip down memory lane. A painful, traumatic lane filled with heartbreak, humiliation, and pure Arsenal madness. 2006 Champions League Final. The beginning of the Curse Paris. The biggest night in Arsenal's history. The Champions League Final against Barcelona. This was the moment we had been waiting for. A chance to prove we belonged among Europe's elite. We started strong. Even after Jens Lehmann got sent off, Sol Campbell gave us the lead. The dream was alive. This was it. And then, disaster. Eto'o equalized. Belletti scored the winner. Just like that, it was over. The pain? Unmatched. That was our best chance to win the Champions League, and we let it slip away. Every Arsenal fan who watched that game aged at least 5 years. Since then, we have never even touched a Champions League final again. The 8-2 humiliation at Old Trafford, 2011. If you survive this game, you are a true warrior. Let me set the scene. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Big match. Big expectations. And then, Arsenal walked onto the pitch like they had just finished a night out in Lagos. It was a massacre. Wayne Rooney was scoring free kicks for fun. Ashley Young was bending shots like he was prime Ronaldinho. Final score? 8-2. 8 goals. Arsenal Football Club turned into a public embarrassment. The internet was ruthless. Memes flooded social media. Even United fans stopped celebrating. They were just laughing at us. That match was so bad, Arsenal panicked and started panic buying players at the transfer deadline, signing 5 players in 48 hours, including Andre Santos and Park Chu-young. That should tell you how bad it was. The 2011 Carling Cup final. Birmingham City? Yes, Birmingham. This one still stings. A cup final against Birmingham City, Birmingham City. This was supposed to be the end of Arsenal's trophy drought. A guaranteed win. But Arsenal does not do guaranteed wins. We were dominant, controlling the game, but we just could not finish. And then, in the 89th minute, disaster struck. A miscommunication between Koscielny and Szczęsny, the ball dropped to Obafemi Martins, and he tapped it into an empty net. 2-1. Birmingham City lifted the trophy. Arsenal fans? Broken. That was the moment we realized this club was truly cursed. 2014, the 6-0 disaster against Chelsea, Wenger's 1000th game. Arsène Wenger, the greatest manager in Arsenal history. His 1000th game in charge was supposed to be a celebration, a moment of honor. Instead, Chelsea turned it into a public humiliation. 6-0. We were battered from start to finish. Samuel Eto'o was dancing. Hazard was running through our defense like they were training cones. To make it worse, the referee sent off the wrong Arsenal player. That is how embarrassing it was. Happy 1000th game, Wenger. 2017, Bayern Munich 10-2. Arsenal, the ultimate European humiliation. This was the point where Arsenal stopped pretending to be a serious European club. Bayern Munich versus Arsenal in the Champions League. We had been knocked out by Bayern before, but surely this time would be different. Nope. First leg, 5-1. Second leg, another 5-1. Final aggregate, 10-2. Arsenal was no longer competing in the Champions League. We were just showing up to get beaten up. The club officially became the meme of European football, losing the 2022-23 league title, the greatest bottling in Premier League history. For months, Arsenal was at the top of the table, playing beautiful football, dominating teams, making us believe again. And then, the classic Arsenal collapse. A 2-2 draw against Liverpool. A 2-2 draw against West Ham. A 3-3 draw against Southampton. A 4-1 battering by Manchester City. From an 8-point lead to finishing second. Another title race bottled. Another season of "we go again next year." Transfer failures. The pain off the pitch. It is not just the games. Arsenal finds a way to hurt us in the transfer market too. We could have signed Cristiano Ronaldo, but went for Francis Jeffers. We had a chance to buy Didier Drogba, but ignored him. We bid £40 million plus £1 for Luis Suarez, thinking Liverpool would actually accept it. We let Serge Gnabry go for free, and now he scores against us for fun. The list goes on. Arsenal loves making life harder than it needs to be. If you survived all this, you deserve a reward. If you are still an Arsenal fan after all of this, you are not just a fan, you are a legend. This club has broken you, crushed your spirit, and still, you come back every season, ready for more heartbreak. And for that, you deserve something. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It is free, unlike the therapy Arsenal fans need after every season. Despite everything, despite the heartbreak, the embarrassment, the weekly emotional damage, we both know one thing. We'll be back next season. Why? Because being an Arsenal fan is not a choice. It is a lifestyle. A toxic, painful, occasionally beautiful lifestyle that we just cannot escape. We go through the suffering, the memes, the annual bottle jobs. And yet, when August rolls around, we are right there again, screaming, "This is our year," like we have not learned our lesson. We are the most loyal fan base in football. Also the most mentally unstable, but let's not focus on that. So, to my fellow Arsenal fans, drop your worst, funniest, or most ridiculous Arsenal heartbreak moment in the comments. Which game made you question your life choices? Which transfer rumor made you cry? Let's share the pain together. Misery loves company, after all. And hey, if you laughed, cried, or just felt seen in this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Because therapy is expensive and this is way cheaper.